Hey everyone, welcome to the Wilson Homestead. So today I just want to take you around and give you a little tour of all of my annual containers and pots. I got them planted up probably a few weeks ago, and I haven't given you any kind of updates on pots this year, so I figured this would be a good day to do a tour. It's kind of rainy outside, and so in between showers I can go out and film the pots and stuff and show you what I have planted. And I haven't done any vegetable garden updates, and I'm sure you've noticed, but it's because everything's going wrong with the veggie garden this year, and I will have a video coming up about all the problems and issues that I've been having, so stay tuned for that video. But let's go look at some pretty flowers. These are my front porch urns, and I have had one heck of a time figuring out what to put in these pots this year, because this area gets so much shade. I mean, it is deep shade. It gets a little bit of sun early in the morning, and then other than that, it's shade the rest of the day. So I have been fighting with these pots, switching stuff out, and I think I finally have a combination that works. So let me go over what I have in this pot. I have Creeping Jenny, which absolutely loves it here in the shade. It is growing so much. And this stuff, I just dumped pots out in my compost pile last year, and this stuff came back like gangbusters, and so I pulled a lot of it out and used it in all my containers. And up here, this is a heuchera. I bought this from Walmart. I think it was one of the Better Home and Gardens plants, and I'm thinking the variety was Carnival. And I have a couple coleus in here. These are Giant Exhibition coleus, I think. But this one is massive, and this one is still puny, so it might be getting too much shade back there. I don't know. We'll see what it does. I mean, it doesn't look too leggy or anything, so I'm going to leave it. And I had to go buy some new Dracaena spikes, because if you watched my videos last year, I had huge Dracaena spikes in here. They had trunks on them because I had saved them for 3 years. I would always dig them up at the end of the season and repot them and put them in my basement in front of a window where they could get some pretty good light through the winter. But this winter was a little bit different because we got a new cat, and that cat was fascinated with my Dracaena spikes, and he dug them up like 4 times and eventually killed them, so I'm starting again. But the the plant that I had in place of this Dracaena spike was something that I grew in my grow room in the spring. You might have seen it. It was supposed to be ponytails grass. And the picture on the seed pack looked really nice, and I thought, wow, that would be a really good structure for a pot. And so I put them in, and they kept looking kind of weedy and weird, and I was like, I don't really think this is the ponytails grass. So I pulled it out, but I do want to show you real quick what I got in that seed pack, which I think was labeled wrong. I think that this is bunnytails grass. But you can see it just looks grassy and weedy, and I mean, I know it is a beautiful plant, but that's just not the kind of structure that I wanted in my pots, so I pulled them all out. But this is not at all what I was expecting. So I'm pretty sure the packet was mislabeled, or they put the wrong picture on it, I don't know. But this looks like bunny tails to me. Tell me if I'm wrong. But anyway, I think that this combination looks pretty darn good. And this heuchera is actually putting up a bloom stalk. You see that? But I pretty much mirrored the same thing over on this side, except for, you know, the coleus might be a little bit different, but that's no big deal to me. And this has a little bit of bug damage, but I've checked this plant over and I cannot find any bugs on here, so they must have moved on. But I'll keep an eye on it and make sure that there isn't a problem. These front coleus weren't in here to begin with. I actually had yellow begonias in here and I had to replace them because I put them in here and they looked pretty good to begin with, but then they started getting really leggy because they weren't getting enough sunlight. So I had to pull them out. And I actually ended up putting them over here in these pots, and you can see they were so leggy when I took them out of that pot over there that I pinched them off so that way I could encourage them to fill out a little bit. And this one's starting to get new growth coming out beside of where I pruned it. And also in this pot I have a really pretty New Guinea impatient. I actually have 3 of them in here. That's the only one that's blooming so far. This one is almost ready to bloom. And then another one of these, giant exhibition coleus. I mean, that is gorgeous. And look how big the leaves are. I will probably buy these seeds every year because I love this. I feel like you can't go wrong with coleus. Pretty much same thing going on in this pot, except for the coleus is a different color. I love this one. With the mottled leaves. And again, insect damage here. But I don't see the culprit anywhere. And then the begonia, I pruned this one too. See right there? I pinched the top out of it, and it has filled in nicely. So this side must get a little bit more sun. I might have to start rotating the pots back and forth so they get equal opportunity for sunlight. But the New Guinea impatiens are a little bit bigger on this side too. So that's what I'm going to have to do, is start rotating them. These petals are a little bit dirty. We just got some rain. But all in all, I think this is going to be a pretty nice container. And this container over here has some caladiums in it, which I overwintered the bulbs in my basement. And then I potted them up probably, I would say, a month before it was time to plant outside. But that is a really nice foliage color. And a yellow begonia in front, and then some more New Guinea impatiens. This pot is impatiens and creeping Jenny. And actually, my husband, he got me a hanging basket that just had the impatiens in it from Lowe's. And so I took it out of that basket because I wanted all of my baskets to match that are on the porch. And so I put it in a new hanging basket and added the creeping Jenny because I have a ton of creeping Jenny growing in my compost pile from where I dump all of my plants out every year. So I just pulled up some of that and planted around it, and I think it looks pretty nice. Now, the rest of my hanging baskets, there are 5 in total, but the other 4 of them have Wandering Jew in it. And this did so well on my front porch in the urns last year that I was like, I'm repeating this because I love it and it grows so well. So I started cuttings in the early spring, and I put 4 cuttings in each hanging basket. So I think that they'll really take off here in the next month and start hanging over the side, and it's just going to be beautiful. This is my orange tree. I think it's a Calamondan orange because they get little oranges that are really sour and don't taste that great, but it's a beautiful plant to grow, and I just recently picked all of the oranges off of this, so hopefully soon it'll start blooming again. And let me tell you, if you've never smelled orange blooms, they smell amazing. Alright, this pot here, I kind of just did a repeat of what I had in here last year. I saved seeds from my climbing petunias last year, and so I planted like 8 of them in here, which was probably overkill, but they were so tiny when I put them in there that I thought, oh yeah, I can put 8 of them in there. But a couple of these I might just let hang over the porch on either side, so that way it doesn't crowd the trellis too much. And this trellis is actually like a wall hanging that my mother-in-law got for me at a yard sale, and I thought, wow, that would be perfect for a trellis. So that's what I've been using the past couple years for these petunias, and it worked pretty well last year. And I have a little bit of creeping Jenny here in front. It ain't looking too hot, but hopefully it'll catch up. And then I have a hot mess of tomatoes everywhere, and I will talk about that in my next video. But I think this is going to be gorgeous when it grows up. I have a couple little fun planters over here. In this little bicycle, which is really cute, I have a New Guinea impatient in the front, and then in the back I have a begonia, tuberous begonia, and this one I overwintered from last year. I dug up the tuber after the frost last fall, and I cut all of the green off of it and stored it in a paper bag over the winter. And then about 6 to 8 weeks before my last frost date, I potted up the tuber and it started growing. And this is a red one. You can see it's starting to get buds on it. Let's see if I can show you that. There's some down here too. So it'll be blooming pretty soon. And then over in the chicken planter, I have some more New Guinea impatiens. This is one of my favorite color ones. I love that pink. And this one hasn't bloomed yet. Here I have a little hedgehog planter that my mom got for me. She sees these cute little things and buys them for me because she knows I love plants. And there was no tag in this plant, so I think it's Kalanchoe, however you say it. Anyway, I think that's what this is. And right here, you can see there's a bunch of buds on it, so it's getting ready to bloom. And I will show you whenever it is in full bloom. Now, I've never grown this before, so I'm not really sure how to take care of it. And there's some spent stalks on here, and I'm guessing that I should cut them off, but I'm going to have to Google that to see the proper way to care for this little baby. This planter is at the end of my steps right on the front porch, and I have a purple fountain grass in here which has seen better days. It was on clearance at Walmart, so I saved it. Hopefully it'll get some life back into it. And I have a salmon colored, what the heck is this? Geranium. Salmon colored geranium. And this is ornamental oregano, which is starting to get that really cool color on it. I hope you can see this. I hope this stuff really takes off because it looked really neat in the seed catalog. Alright, now for the planters in front of my basement. I have these 2 small planters, which I did put one of the climbing petunias in this, and I'll just let it trail over the side. And then I have some New Guinea impatiens in here, which are kind of struggling at the moment. And on this side, some more New Guinea impatiens and another trailing petunia, or climbing petunia rather, that I'm going to allow to trail over. And then these pots are what I'm most excited about. These 2 right here. I put elephant ear in the center, Leaves are getting pretty big on that. And then around the edges, I have Wizard Sunset Coleus. Isn't that color amazing? I love Coleus, but I just feel like this is going to be a really cool combination of plants whenever everything fills out, and I will keep you updated on these. While I have you over here by the basement door, I'm going to show you this Potentilla, however you say it. It's in full bloom right now. And these are such pretty yellow flowers on this. And these bloom for a really long time. Alright, that does it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time here on the Wilson Homestead.